And we are on. And hopefully this thing gets my face and it's a nice take of the camera and all that other good stuff. So, I'm, Dreadnought Part 4. And I guess, what is it? I think it's going to be May when they finally start lifting things. I think it's like the latest prediction. I don't know. For my state. But anyways, that's besides the point. So yeah, so I guess to start this video off, I've got one more staircase to add, and I tried to fold up a little piece of metal to get it in there, and it broke. So I'm gonna make more photo etch. Hopefully this time I do a slightly better job with it, and it actually turns out better. I've got some thoughts on how to make it more even for its etching of each side to try and improve on the results, but we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, I guess this is the part where I'd go and get started, and once again, invoke the dark arts. Although I agree for that there is a disturbing lack of candles and goat pieces and virgin's blood. I guess we'll have to make do with washing soda solution, lye, the homemade muriatic acid and hydrogen peroxide etchant, which is disturbingly effective, and of course, in an attempt not to be an idiot today, which I'm sure those who model will very much go, it's not idiocy, it's just everybody's bad habit until they don't have eyes anymore. Put this on. Nah. For the chemical part, yes, but for these parts, I don't think I need it. Alright, famous last words, and here we go. Spoiler alert, yeah, it's the last time you see the mask on my face in this, or that I have it on for this section of the project. One of these days, there's going to be a sign. Richard didn't wear his goggles. Now he doesn't need them. I really need to remember this. I encourage you to wear goggles. I mean, granted, I don't see much of a risk here when I'm sanding, but I really should have worn it when I was dipping this thing in chemistry. So, as I said, my usual process is start sanding with the 500 grit, then the 1000 grit, and then the little buffing pad they supply, which I think is 3200 grit, according to the number. I see 3200 on the pad, so I'm going to guess that's the number. Yep, so you got to do up both sides. I go in little circles to try and, that's how I was taught to sand. I'm sure some people say you only need to go in lines, but really I don't want to have a bunch of linear scuffs. So here I am as going really fast, trying to use this paper, then peeling it, trying to stick it onto the thing, and finding out that this stuff is really sensitive to like any reason at all to bunch up and wrinkle, which is a real pain in the neck. Is this the part where I learned that this is really, wants to give me a hard time? So I have a couple of run-ins with this stuff, actually, trying to sort it out, get it worked out right. One of these normal speed runs, I'll talk all about it. Yep, here I go, going for another length of it. Now, I'll admit this much. The Micromark stuff was easier to work with, but this stuff is like a tenth of the price, and it does provide usable results. So I didn't get the best results of this run because, new stuff, everything else. But, hey, live and learn. That's one of the good things about any hobby, is you learn how to do it better as you go along. And there I am. Again, I think I'm running it through the cold lamination now. Or I ran it through hot, then cold, and then found it really just didn't work for me. And so maybe I removed it. Oh, no, wait, no. This is like the last run of it. Oh, this must be the last. Oh, no, I had a few run-ins with this, actually. Yeah, I had a few run-ins. That was me developing it there. And finding that it just wasn't bright enough on one side versus the other. I talk about that in some of the future normal speed bits of this. Yep, there I am. This cleaning stuff gets really, really foggy as I clean it. Now, speaking of normal speed stuff, here's a section of it now. Oh. Let's see. No, let's say in the camera here. A little more. So, yeah, probably, yeah, okay, I'll definitely appear in that. So, that was a failure, but I learned something. A couple things. First, this new photoresist film that I got is just, it is going to be a pain in the butt, I think, to put on. I say that because it was you saw it there in the stuff I just time lapsed. I had to do it twice actually. And while I got a huge sheet of it, which makes up for a lot of stuff, can't make up for everything with quantity. But I have some ways I think will help me work around some of that difficulty. So the next thing is going to be getting a proper timing for the light. Because I did my 40 seconds, which I think my little thing in notes said to do here. Am I right in that? Did I reveal 40 seconds as the best thing? Maybe it was 60 seconds. Yeah, it was 40 seconds, where the developer had no visible effect. So, but like the change of the actual photoresist was visually it was minimal compared to what I've seen before, where it's a lot more resilient and a lot darker after developing. So I'm gonna have to do something a bit different for the next batches. One of them's going to be, instead of doing the laying it down on just the flat, use this is my kind of flat surface and lay down my photo resist that way. What I'm going to do next time is I'm actually going to take a longer section of it, fold it over, and then use that laminator to press it on there and hope that'll do the job. Because if it doesn't do the job, then that's going to suck. But if it does do the job, then great. Hooray. Life is better. Guess there's a couple ways I can go about it all. Yes, the old micromark stuff. Yeah, the secret to this one is it must have like a thicker backing. That would make sense. That would make sense from what I've seen. Which, is actually not a bad thing, but it could explain some of my other difficulties with getting the really finalized. Because the lines on this, what I did see through the developer, looked really good in terms of its clarity. So I'm going to try again and see if I can't convince some photo-etched metal parts to appear. All right, so there I am once again working with El Cheapo photoresist. I don't want to rail on this too hard. It does work, and I'm sure that if this had like a proper machine, that it'd be fine. So I'm not going to say it's crap just because I'm having a hard time, in my basement shop with improvised tools. But this stuff is, I was able to get it on there. What I started doing was I figured, okay, let's try laminating it cold on there to get all the wrinkles out. Thinking that the rollers would crush up against the thing, push it really tight and fine, get that to work. And that actually works really well. So I use this in the next run of this. But after developing it this time around, I found that, one, it was just a bit too lightly developed on one of the sides. And two, is that even after you pull it out of the developer, if you don't like immediately rinse it off, I do that with an airbrush in the next run, it causes problems. So there I am doing the hot laminate for this. Here I go. I cure it in the thing. Curing, UV light, yay, hooray. I should probably stop staring at that. But yeah, there we go. I look at the thing, just to evaluate it. Then there I go, and I start developing it with my developer solution, and then just in a moment is when I find out, ew, yuck, and you shall see my reaction to finding it gets all frizzly because I don't pressure wash it. All right, so, yuck, mucky stuff, ew, nasty. So, there's that problem. Great. Looks like I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board on this bit of photo etching to try and figure out how exactly I want to use this new photo resist that I got myself. Not that I couldn't just go back and buy more micromark stuff, but really, this clearly will work. I just got to figure it out. And unlike what, you know, that Micromark guys will give you, which is like, I got, what, a couple of 12-inch by, I'm not sure if it's 12-inch or 15-inch sheets. This is like, this is a foot by, oh, Jesus. Yeah, like 15 or 20 feet. And this costs the same price. I don't know about you. I know it's crazy. I'm going to get the cheap one, especially if it works just as good, which I'm going to figure out how to do. But that means I'll either have to do some more testing, or I'll have to do a bit of a couple other things. I know I could probably find at least a data sheet on this, which will be good, because I've got the, you know, I got the part numbers, I've got a manufacturer, so I should be able to find out who not so much who makes this, but, you know, how to use it according to the manufacturer. And that information is how I kind of divined that this was Riston film, was the previous stuff. But this may be a slightly different formulation or chemistry. They may have different suggestions on how to use it. But suffice to say, this actually is not as bad as it could have gone photo etch-wise. Especially with the stuff getting splashed all over me for the, you know, developer and stuff. At least it's not the lye solution, even though the lye didn't do much damage to my clothing, thankfully, when it did splash. But, I really don't want the acid to splash on me. Especially where the last one did that. No. But anyway, so I am going to break out the most powerful tool in my entire arsenal ever. Seriously. This helps you organize what you carry between your ears. And what you carry between your ears is your chief tool of survival. Yeah, I took that line from Atlas Shrugged. And I did not read the book, I just heard the little speech. But that's a good point to remember, is that it's what's in here that's gonna, you know, get this model to look really good. Alright. Here we go, trying to figure out how I want to do photo etching. Again. Alright, so now this side I'm going to do for 80, and the other side I'm going to do for 60. With a bit of luck, this will work. Okay. One, okay, yeah, it's on. Is it on? It's on, okay. Alright, so 80 seconds this side, starting now. Alright, so what can I say? Watching Photo Etch Cure is kind of like watching paint dry, so I sped it up for you. For out. Yay. Alright, now, try and keep this reasonably in the view here. I think what I'll actually do, can I flip that? And that's probably a bad idea at this point. Okay, I'll just flip it and do the 60. Okay. 60 seconds it is. Starting now. Boom. Yay. And now for the reveal. And not just the reveal of does this work as I go and try to, you know, trim down the sides and start my developing of it, but also what the results end up being. And see, I do the pressure washing, and it's a lot better this time. And I set up my stuff with my old etchant. So about this muriatic acid etchant, though, which I don't quite show. Yeah, it is, you need to keep it in an opaque container or it doesn't work. And if you have it going at a snail's pace, as you see me doing other stuff here, it doesn't work right. You will start like dissolving your resist if it waits too long. I'm not sure if it's just some plastic thing or it's just getting soggy or what. So I still got some usable staircases though out of that, and I used that doing some folding. I think this might be it here in the folding, or it could just be cutting in, you know, wall sections. But I do put in some wall sections, and yep, I'm building up the fourth deck just to get its, you know, kind of some of its rooms better sorted out. I look at some things, scratch my legs. They've been bothering me for a while. This happens to me like every spring for some reason. But here I go. I'm using the calipers as kind of a gauge for how long to cut pieces of the plastic strip. And then I'm just gluing them together. One of these I glue them together and try to use it to make a 3 sides of a coal chute before putting it in. And I do find that it does work as an option, but it's a lot easier to just take them one at a time and glue them in. So that's what I start doing after this. You know, I gotta say, I am really appreciating how good the Tamiya, like, glue applicator is. It is, like, perfect for this sort of thing. I hope when I have to switch over to the Micromark, you know, plastic weld stuff, that it holds up. I'm really hoping that it holds up good. Otherwise, I'm going to be sad. Because, like, that's worth crying over. If that's not the case. That's like, I feel bad. Yeah. But enough romanticizing the glue choice. Here I'm cutting some more sections to make the rest. I think it's still the rest of the coal chutes. I probably got another minute of me yapping over me doing time lapse. So yeah, sorry that this took so long to get to you. Despite the fact that we're all on lockdown, I still work from home, and even though I did have a bit of leave scheduled for around this time now, I still got to man the kids and everything else. So that's yeah, there's all sorts of bits of chaos that kind of prevented me from being modeling in the shop all the time like, you know, I'd like to be. Oh well. Here I am taking some measurements as well, you know, getting how wide things are. And yeah, I put on some more of the walls in the this upper deck here, not like the actual deck of the boat, but there's like floor right below it. And as you can see, I'm adding some more holes, and I'll be doing my classic things of cutting things out in just a moment. But I think I got something in slow-mo I want to show you, so I'm going to do that now. Well, that was a rather lengthy time lapse with a lot of hemming and hawing. But here we are. That is a little mark I made to put a ladder down. And if I can tweak where this thing goes, I'll see if I can't show you the placement of this ladder in real time. That would be perfect. Can I hold? No, hold on. Okay, and tighten it really tight and hope it works. Okay, now what to do about that? We'll just keep it down. Don't screw it up. Alright. So this is actually just about as good a way to do it as any. Okay, really missing my curved tweezers, but I'll have to make do. And because this thing becomes a rather long affair, I time-lapse it for you. I make a couple attempts, and eventually I do convince this straight-up ladder piece to stick onto the deck piece. That look might be the closest I'll get. Hold on, can I? Let's see if I can tweak a little more. Though, I think I've started on the right path. Great. Super. Now, the ultimate test. Does it fit? Oh, wow. It does fit. It actually does just about perfectly line up. Can you see it? Maybe? No? I don't think you can see it in there. Hold on, does this thing have a light? Can I turn the light on? Yeah, I can! And it is visible! Right there! Yes, it fits! Okay, it fits, it ships. Alright. All the times that I mentioned getting things to line up to look more like a boat, that's the kind of thing I was talking about. It also lines up when you put it in the hull. Yeah, this has been a fun couple episodes, isn't it? I know, longer, you know, more space between the videos, I hear you there. But overall, I think, as I pull the bottom bit of this out here, I think quite a lot of progress has been made. So there's the first floor, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Still working out some of the fifth, but this I'm going to call good, this is good, this I'll call good, and this I'll call good, except for the obvious detail that is the engines. And then, of course, the fleshing out with the other details like shell bins or, you know, storage things or stuff of that nature. Okay, that light's going to blind me. I'd better turn that off. It was great for the close-up shots. Not so much there. So, yeah. A little more space than the 2-week mark I tried to meet for everything else. But, I do need to label this, don't I? Yeah, I learned quite a bit, and that's a good thing. I'm going to label this right now, actually. That's a good safety thing, especially if you're going to use something as waste. Label accordingly, so that you don't mistakenly go, ooh, is this a drink I left? And then proceed to have a very bad day. Oh, now I care about lab safety, and I make an impromptu how to properly label a bottle and mess with tape lesson. Yeah, I really gotta wear I really gotta wear goggles more. What can I say? I wore gloves though. That I did. Okay. So, yeah, now I've got myself some pictures to take and a video to edit, but I think this has come a pretty long way. I've still got the engines to put in there at the bottom of this. Then I got other details, and I think overall this is going to be pretty good. Alright. I have a video to edit. Peace out.